we're happy to receive data information from Global Development Assistance concerning the flooding situation in South Sudan. The data set or information is very important because now we know which part of the country is inundated by which flood frequency. So this is very important to advise the decision makers on where we can channel the intervention properly, depending on the return period expected in each of the areas.
The stakeholders in this activity needed information on the extent of the flooding in the country, in South Sudan, and flooding pattern characterization, and also flood hazard analysis. They also needed the spatial temporal distribution of flooded areas to help them profile the flooding pattern in the sub-basins targeted by the World Bank for financing. So we used a state-of-the-art Sentinel imagery for flood extent monitoring, which resulted in a detailed map of flood hazard across the South Sudan. It provided the baseline for the entities that are responsible for designing and constructing the infrastructure, which will be financed by the World Bank. We also used rainfall data obtained using satellite imageries to perform a long-term analysis of precipitation regime. Using 40 years of data, we focus on the extreme precipitation and rainfall anomalies across the region.
GMB has performed a countrywide flood hazard identification based on Earth observation data. More specifically, GMB used every single image available from 2015 to 2022 from the Copernicus Sentinel-1 mission to delineate the observed flooded areas. Further work looked at the seasonal flood patterns both on the temporal and spatial flood hazard persistence. The flooded area and the flood frequency information was then aggregated at county level and combined into a single flood hazard index. This allowed the World Bank and the national stakeholders to target areas for flood management interventions.
The use of Earth observation data at the regional scale to map the flood extent and also the flood hazard and identification of precipitation trends was a new aspect of information which was not fully exploited by the stakeholders in this region. The current knowledge at the flooding pattern is limited in the region and the data is limited on the ground. So there are some studies at local level and ground observation, but wasn't enough. So in that sense, the use of Earth observation data and technologies was a game changer for the stakeholders.
At the moment, the country, now we can advise the decision makers, with some informed data about where to channel flood intervention in the country. So this has made a very huge impact compared to when we were relying on, some manual way of, estimating the flood in the different parts of the country.